Gus is on this journey to find his mom, and he learns a lot more than he bargained for. It's Kristen, and today we are talking about Netflix's new show, Sweet Tooth. Originally a comic published by DC Comics' Vertigo imprint, Sweet Tooth has been dubbed Mad Max meets Bambi, as it takes place in a mostly rural post-apocalyptic setting, as a boy who's half human and half deer searches for a new beginning with a gruff protector. Consider subscribing if you like my videos, and drop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts on Sweet Tooth. Did you read the comics? I would love to hear your thoughts. There will be some spoilers in this video, so you have been warned. In this story, the lead character of Gus, played by Kristen, is half deer, half boy, and he lives in a house in the forest, separated from everyone, with his pubba, aka his dad, played by Will Forte, and I think Will Forte did a really great job in this role. The two of them have lived this life of seclusion because his father's trying to protect him in this dystopian world where people are dying, people are getting sick, there are hybrids coming into the picture, people are trying to figure out what is going on, and we're several years now into this post-apocalyptic world and there's still no solution. But when his father passes away, he has to go out and do his own thing and figure out what's next. And he decides that he wants to go find his mom. And he learns a lot more than he bargained for. He ends up getting saved by a former football player turned poacher turned, you know, ally to him, Tommy Jeopard, aka Big Man. They start off as this reluctant duo, but over time they form a really strong bond, and their connection and sort of odd couple dynamic is really the center of this story. I did some research into the comics so I could really kind of understand where this story was coming from and what direction we were going in, and I have to say I thought it was quite different, and I actually liked this direction a little bit better. It is a post-apocalyptic adventure, but there's also this narration that really reminded me sort of like Pushing Daisies. It paired really well with this more dangerous story and gave it a really interesting tone where you're following this whimsical post-apocalyptic adventure, more hopeful and wholesome. We're not seeing, you know, Jeopard stabbing Gus in the back or, you know, being the bad guy in the scenario. He really is there for him, and they really form a bond over the course of the season. And then when Bear comes into the picture, it really is this like little trio of like a found family, and I really appreciated that story. In addition to this storyline with Gus, we're following two other storylines. This doctor whose wife is getting sick from this virus and now he's being held hostage to create a vaccine. And then there's this other story of this woman who has basically made a sanctuary for hybrids and is basically like the resistance. All these stories seem separate at first, but over time they start to interweave, and by the end of the season parts of these groups join up forces and work together. Another thing I really liked about this show was that I felt like there was no like clean-cut bad guy other than the guy that looks like Robotnik. Each storyline that we're following, everyone sort of has a reason why they're doing the things they're doing, and they're trying to be better people, or they're being forced to do something that they don't want to do, but I thought that everyone kind of had redeeming qualities about them. I also think that they did a great job in the way that they structured this season. The first episode is like right before this apocalypse kind of situation happens, and they're showing us things that end up becoming really important later on down the line. Like for instance, Jep on the TV as a football player, and then later on he's a huge part of the season. And then they are showing us, you know, this adventure that they're going on, and then we flash all the way back to what really happened between Gus's parents. I also thought it was interesting the way that they added the scientific elements to the show. You know, it was kind of like a flip of a coin, like things could either go, you know, really bad and we're about to bring about the end of the world, or they could go really good and you're gonna save millions of people, and clearly things didn't work out how they were supposed to. But with these hybrids, there's a lot that we still need to learn about them. It even looks like Gus at certain moments in the show might have like certain kind of powers because of him being a hybrid, and I would be really curious to see how they expand upon that. There's a lot of things that I liked about the show, the whimsical nature of it. I think there was a lot of really great cinematography and fight scenes and visuals. I think it looks really high quality. There's also a lot of really funny moments in the show. I loved how they balanced the tone where, you know, this is like something that you would think would be very serious, but there were these like fun little jokes thrown in that kind of make you feel like you're in on the joke with the characters. I wish they showed a little bit more of Amy's storyline in the preserve, in the sanctuary. That was one that really was intriguing to me, especially to be able to see all these different types of hybrids, and you know, some of them are more advanced than others, and what does that mean? I wish that they had dove a little bit more into that. So when it comes down to it, I really enjoyed Sweet Tooth. I was very pleasantly surprised by this show. I thought it was a breath of fresh air. It was really wholesome. wholesome and whimsical and funny, and you have this like fun little adventure of like this found family and figuring out who you are, and at the same time there's still this scientific post-apocalyptic mystery that we have to figure out. So I thought that there was a lot of really great elements going on in this show, and I had a lot of fun with it. By the time it was over, I was like, oh no, like I want to know what's gonna happen next. There's not another episode. And then we end on this cliffhanger that's really, you know, action-packed, but also hopeful of what's coming next. And I really hope that this show gets a second season because I just thought they did a really great job with it. If you like dystopian stories, if you like something a little bit different, if you enjoy that kind of like whimsical tone and you want something a little heartfelt but full of adventure, this is the show to check out. If you guys like this one, you can check out more of my Netflix reviews right over here, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya.